Tonight our keynote speaker will be Shulamith Koenig. Shula is the founder of the People's Movement for Human Rights Learning and a recipient of the 2003 UN Prize in the field of human rights.
Good evening, everybody. I wish I could, standing here, look each one of you in the face and say, what you are is good. I wish I could be here and know that while I'm gone, you will probably be the leaders of the world. I wish I could today live with you just as little as possible, as maybe as much as I can, the understanding of human rights as a way of life. And by the end of my discourse or dialogue or whatever, we can't have a dialogue, there are too many of us, but I'll be here tomorrow, you can catch me in the hall and we can talk. We will all read this pledge together. But don't read it now, I'll prepare you for it. Okay, you know, actually, every human being alive, wherever they are, whoever they are, and in the last 25 years, I was in 60 countries, and I spoke to many people of all levels of society, and I can tell you one thing. Everybody understands what dignity is. It's right here in your shoulders. Just as you sit there, keep your shoulders up, and you will know this is what dignity is about. But it's not just me, with the sky, or with God, whoever he or she are, but it is what happens here in this room. It is what each one of us feels when we are respected, trusted. Dignity is what human rights is all about. If you look into your own life and you think of the lullabies you must have heard, historic memory, some stories you were told as a child, I'm sure that each one in this room can identify that it's all about dignity. Some people around the world say, oh, human rights came from the North. Or human rights is a Western idea. No, not at all. Having been, as I told you, in 60 countries, and having been in Tamil Nadu, and they have the untouchables now called Dalits, and when I told them, women standing here, men standing there, that food, education, housing, health, and work at livable wages are human rights, they started dancing and continued. Food, education, housing. I said, why are you dancing? They said, because we thought that they have to give it to us. Now you told us it's our own. So human right is your own. It's a horizontal way of life. You know, many people think of human rights as the law. Yes, it is, because we have law and justice. We never speak about rights. We only speak of our human rights. Because we say, people have a right to walk their dog. It's not a human right. So we only speak of human rights. Something else. When we speak of rights, we speak of a vertical structure. And in a vertical structure, which, forgive me for saying, is patriarchy, there's already on top of us, somebody in bottom of us, and we hold on. We put all our energy to stick on to this vertical. When we are on the horizontal, and forgive me, I must say, and the sky is the limit. When we are on the horizontal, I can tell you as a former engineer, there is probably a few million ways for me to get from here to that pole over there. There are choices. I can choose my friends. I can go right, I can go left, I can go out and come back. On the horizontal level, I can see where I'm going. Find human rights to me. You will do the right job. But you must know that wherever you are, most of the people look at human rights as a litany of violation. But we are speaking of human rights as a strategy for human development, for economic development. And you must also know, which many of you don't, forgive me if you do, you must forgive me, that human rights are about political, civil, economic, social, and cultural. It's about what democracy brought to the world, it's about what socialism brought to the world, and it's about seeing that in the future there will be no patriarchal orders. Forgive me, men, I have my wonderful husband with me here, but patriarchy is not pointing a finger against men. You here look like a very nice man, so I'm not pointing a finger at you. Smile at me, please. But patriarchy is a system. Just try to digest that. Where people exchange their equality for survival. Okay? If the main issue of dignity is equality, but then in places where there is female genital cutting, in places where there is poverty, people, the biggest urge is to survive. And human rights enables us to move from survival to belonging. There were 30 points of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. And maybe if you read it out loud and discuss it with one another. And I asked this beautiful lady here, when is the first time your human right was violated? And then you ask me. And then I ask you, and when is the first time your human right was realized? And then I ask you. And all of a sudden you know how the world defines human rights about each one of us and about the relationship with one another. Everything anybody articulated since 1948 and what human rights is and what human rights are is in this frame. Now we're a white canvas. We want to paint our future. We don't want to hear the back. We want to know what's going to be when we are parents, when we are ourselves politicians, when we are doctors, when we are housewives, whatever, or housemen, whatever you want. We'll all take a paint, a brush, or a pencil, and what we will do is every paint we put on this canvas, calling this canvas our trip to the future, should always be tested vis-a-vis the frame. Is this anything that here will it offend? Will it violate? Or basically important, will it realize our human rights? So think of human rights as actually a road to the future. And to do that, I'm going to ask you all to stand up. Everybody stand up. And we are all going to make a pledge that I hope in one way or the other, whether as leaders, as followers, that this pledge, when you get over 2025, remember, 50% of the world population is under 25. Besides you and you. And me. Okay. Remember, you are the future of the world, and it's a big responsibility. Because human rights is about social responsibility. So let's read the pledge together. Maybe it will be easier if I read a sentence and you go after me, okay? And read it up from up there. Can you all see it? Okay. We are the human rights generation.
We are the human rights generation.
We will accept nothing less than human rights.
We will accept nothing less than human rights.
We will know them and claim them.
We will know them and claim them.
For all women, men, youth and children.
For all women, men, youth and children.
from those who speak human rights, but deny them to their own people. In our hands, human rights is a way of being. Now hold hands across. Pick your hands up. All of you. All of you. Okay. And say, we will move power to human rights. There is no other option. One more sentence. From today on, just in honor of an 82-year-old woman, tell me, I'm not looking. No, I don't. I wanted to start speaking of human rights as a way of life, as a way of being, and make a commitment, whatever entry point you go in your life, to look at this frame and to see what kind of future you want to paint. Thank you very much.